Well, hi, Tony. Nice to see you.
Hi, Sharon. How are
I'm
you?
s- I'm great. How are you doing this morning?
Good, good, good.
Good. Well, I guess we'll jump right in. Who do you sort of hold responsible for sending you home on the Traitors?
To be honest with you, again, I don't know. When I was there in the castle at the round table, everybody wanted me out. They were all saying, Tony, you're a traitor, you're this, you're that, you're that. And then to me, it felt like Rob was waiting for the key moment after everybody said what they said for him to put the nail in the coffin. I don't know if it was for his camera time so he can have a part of that, like, oh, I took Tony down moment. I don't know what that was, but I knew I was going home. The whole time everybody was telling me I was going home before Rob even spoke. So yeah, so pretty much I'll tell you, I think it was the Bambi girls, or the Bambi, what they call themselves, the Bambi squad. I think
Yeah.
I think they set things off because Gabby's the first one that said, Tony, so they started because they know me from Survivor, like they couldn't accept me for face value.
Yeah. Were you surprised they didn't make you a traitor considering your reputation?
I wasn't surprised because of exactly what happened. So when I came out of the Land Rover, the first second I stepped out of Land Rover, I was already a traitor in their eyes. Carolyn said, "Oh my God, it's Tony! Do you guys know him? He's so ruthless and duplicitous and this." So I was like, "Oh man, I'm a traitor." Before the game even starts, there was a point where I went into the castle when we first all went in there, and everybody had a round table inside. I think it was the library, and Carolyn was right in the middle. Yup, and he did this and he did that. Oh yeah, he backstabbed this person and he backstabbed. And
Oh, wow.
I'm like, Carolyn, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I try to talk to her. I said, Carolyn, this is not Survivor. I want to work with you. I'm being sincere. Let's stick together. We have to against the people we don't know. So I was already a traitor in everybody's
Yeah.
eyes. So it didn't matter. I'm glad I wasn't a traitor in hindsight because I wouldn't want to give him the satisfaction of getting it right off the bat.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well,
glad
so
that.
no, I was just gonna say, so Rob threw out he's a traitor, so he has to throw out something. He said that you didn't talk to him or whatever, but he voted for you to win $2 million on Survivor. He gave you a shield. At that point, we were like, we're good, we're solid.
I said that even if Jeremy didn't vote for me to win $2 million, but I don't
True.
care. That's history. That's water under the bridge. That's another game in its entirety. This is a new game, and we're all we have here. We're all
Hmm.
we got. Let's stick together. At least that's how I am. I would lose my game for any of those guys. From the Survivor, because that's how I am. Once I know that it's an unspoken golden rule, let's stick together. It's us against all of them. It's no longer us against us like it is on Survivor. You know, and
Yeah.
I didn't need to go talk to Rob every 2 seconds. The same way I didn't do it with Jeremy. I didn't go to Jeremy. Derek came into the game and I was Derek. We're good. He's like, yeah, we're good. Okay, I'll go be the eyes and ears in that room. You go be the eyes and ears in another room. We don't need to be together. And that's
Yeah.
how I thought it was with Rob. And I told Rob, I said, Rob, we're good. Especially when he gave me the shield. I said, I'm indebted to you, Rob, man. And it wasn't the case. He should have fought for me because I'm a number for him. He should have fought for me at that round table. Derek would have jumped on board. Jeremy would have jumped on board. Wes would have jumped on board. The gamers would have jumped on board
Do
because
you, well, with him saying that, was that just an opportunity to get you out, or was he protecting Bob the drag queen? Like, which one do you think?
neither. There was
Oh,
he didn't have to do that to get me out because I was gone. I was a dead man walking. When the second they started talking about my name, everybody was on board with that. Protecting Bob the drag queen. What makes you think that you needed to protect him? He didn't need no protection. I was going home. Everybody was saying I'm going home. They said it in plain English. So there was neither of that. The only thing that I can think of, like I said, it was he wanted the limelight, the last second to get the last words in of getting me home, sending me home. Either that or whatever.
well,
But
you got the last word a little bit when you called him a sellout. Where do you
because
guys stand today? Have you talked?
oh no, listen, that's a game. Rob as a person outside the game, I played poker with him. Me and him actually, this guy Tyson, me and Rob
I know
hustled.
Tyson.
Yeah, so me and Rob hustled him, and we made like a little side bet, me and Rob, and we took the money from Tyson. So yeah, no,
Oh,
Rob, listen, Rob is awesome. All these people are awesome outside the game. When you're in the game, like myself, I might be the biggest a-hole in the game, like a survivor. But outside of that, man, I'm a real nice person, man. Just
you
like they
seem
are.
like that, Tony. I
Yeah,
know.
and most of these people are. We're all sincere people, genuine people with good lives. The
Yeah,
game is
yeah.
just a game. So
So
yeah,
who
so me
did?
and Rob, I have no beef with Rob at all.
Okay, that's good.
I'm going to talk my smack about what happened in the game, but that has nothing to do with what it's like in real life.
What did you think about when you found out who the traders were when you left?
I was super, super shocked that Carolyn was a traitor. I
Yeah.
would have never, ever, ever, ever guessed that. I really, and I went into the castle saying to myself, I'm not going to underestimate any of these people. And I underestimated Carolyn. I was like, there's no way she would know what's going on as a traitor. And she knows everything. She is great. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the one that shocked me. Rob obviously did not shock me. If you're going to force the guy to come in, or give him so many chances to come into the game, you're going to make him a traitor.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say, were you doing that math in your head? Like, okay, well, one of the survivors is a traitor, and one of the three guys who came in late is a traitor.
honestly, I didn't because I didn't care if one of the survivors was a traitor at that point. I didn't care.
Mm,
I just wanted to work with them. Towards
yep.
the end, if they started giving me vibes that they're traitors or whatever, maybe it would have been different. But I think the way I was thinking right then and then, I'll go all the way to the right or die. I'd go to the end with them. And if they're traitors, I lost my game. I don't care. But I'm at the
Mm,
end with my survivor players. And that's all I
yeah.
wanted. That's what I really wanted that.
I know, Tony, you don't do a lot of these shows. Like you're very selective, which I like. Did you do any research? Did you watch the previous seasons, or were you like, let me go in blind?
I did watch it, but I did watch the Traitors, so I didn't go
Yeah.
in blind with that aspect. But I went in blind with the cast. I had no idea who was on it. As opposed to them, I'm sure when you're a reality TV star, you're all in. You're up with all the stuff, the rumors that are going around. So I'm sure they heard Tony from Survivors going into it. So if they never knew who I was, now they get a chance to do some research on me. And that's how come when I went there, they were all against me right from the start.
Mm.
But so I didn't know. But I watched Traitors. Yeah, I did. And I wanted to be normal. I try to be quiet. I didn't want nobody to say, "Oh, there
Tony, can
goes."
you be quiet though? That I don't know.
I was, and that's why I got banished. I wish I was my normal self and just started screaming and being ruthless and aggressive, and I wasn't.
Yeah, I was
I
wondering if there was like stuff we didn't see because we didn't see a lot of. I mean, it's hard to show like there's a lot of players in the beginning to show everyone. Was there anything they didn't show that you wish they did?
Well, not really, because I didn't do much. So that's why you didn't see much of me. Usually you'll see 1,000 confessionals from me or in this case, interviews. You would have saw 1,000 of them if I was saying something worthy. But I was lost. I didn't know what was going. I didn't know who was who. I had no idea. It was like so hard. You can't get a tell on these people in the
Yeah.
beginning. Not in 3 days, 4 days, maybe 5, 6 days.
Did you have a spy shack in the castle?
I Sharon, I didn't even get a chance to shave. I was gone so fast. It was so quick for me.
Did all right. So did you have any hesitation doing this show, or was it an immediate yes for you?
The only hesitation was the flying. I have a phobia of flying.
Oh,
Yeah, but I still do it. I do what I have to do to get the job done. So that was the only thing. I was like, oh, I got to travel 13 hours, like, and then I didn't like that part. But once you're there and I'm off the plane, I'm ready.
yeah.
So there was
Well,
no hesitation.
maybe this is your game changers, Tony. Maybe you should come back for an all-star season and you could do a little better. What do you think?
I would, but why would they invite me? I'm gonna go there and everybody's gonna say he's a traitor. All right, this time he's a traitor for sure, and I'm gone. You
No,
know,
maybe you never know. You never know, Tony.
you don't know, but
Anyone else from Survivor you'd like to see play the traitors?
um, there's a bunch. I mean, not off the top of my head, I would think Sarah the Cops R Us girl would be good. Trish would be good. David Sampson, David Sampson. Remember David
Yeah.
Sampson from Cagayan? He would
Yeah,
be
he's
great.
first out,
Uh,
second.
Yeah, he was first out.
Yeah.
But I would love to see him on that show. Like he's one of those snarky guys that he's sharp. He's awesome dude. I would love to see him. But there's a lot of the people that I played with. Chaos Cass would be great on the Traitors.
Yep, yep. Who in the castle did you like align with other than the survivors? Who were you close with?
I thought I
Anyone?
was close. I thought I was close with the Bambi girls. Like with Gabby, with Nikki. I thought we were close, and I mean we work. I mean I formed a lot of good bonds with these people. But again,
Yeah.
the bonds have nothing to do with them thinking this guy's being deceptive right now. And they were sincere. Unfortunately, I was being real. I was being sincere, but it didn't. They didn't believe me.
Yeah, that's like a voting block right there,
Yeah.
those girls.
But
Right.
Bob the drag queen, he was my best friend. We were like the closest, me and him. I was wearing his hat, I was wearing his boots, I was strutting it in the castle. Like I really had a good time with all these people.
Yeah. Did you know? I mean, do you watch a lot? I'm assuming you don't know like Vanderpump Rules, right?
Oh, I loved him. Tom
Oh,
was
you did?
awesome, but I didn't know him. This is the first time I met these people. I didn't know none of them at all, except for
Mm,
Jeremy. I didn't even know Danielle. I didn't even know Brittany. I didn't even know Derek. I heard of Derek and Big Brother, but I didn't
yeah.
know him. So I didn't know nobody except the survivors. That's it.
Wow.
So Tom, oh man, I love Tom. There was one point where he was like real nervous about something. He was sweaty, his head was up in the air, his face was pale, and he looked like Edward Scissorhands. I was like, "Yo, Tom, bro, you look just like Johnny Depp and Edward Scissorhands." He's like, "Dude, I'm nervous. I'm nervous." And I'm like, "Oh my, I love him. I know I've heard stories of he did some dirty stuff or whatever, but again, he didn't do nothing to me, so
Right.
nothing personal with me. So I loved him. He was great.
Oh gosh. Was there anything you think you could have done at that round table to change your fate, or were you sealed when you got in there that you were going home?
It was pretty much sealed, but with the help of Rob, if Rob had spoken up for me, Jeremy was speaking up for me, I think it would have gained some traction. If
Mm,
Rob was like, guys, listen, I know how Tony is. If he was a traitor, he'd be jumping on this table, round table right now, screaming at us because he'd have that confidence in him, that aggression. Like he could have. I think Rob could have turned it around for me if he wanted to.
yeah.
You know,
Ha-
and it wouldn't have put no heat on him. There's no heat on him. There was no heat just because you're saying, I don't know, guys. I don't know if Tony's a, you know what I mean? There would be no heat. And then Wes
Yeah.
would have jumped on board. You know what I mean? That we would have had some people jump on board to help me. Dylan would have jumped on board because Dylan believed in me.
Mm.
But
What well, you mentioned Jeremy, and I know in the episodes we saw him sort of running around. You're like, Jared, what are you doing? I also thought we saw a little bit of a different Jeremy. What did you think of his game
yeah,
while you're
so
there?
so Jeremy was on point. So there was a point where we were coming in the Land Rover from a mission, and it was me, Jeremy, the Bambi girls, which is it was Gabby and Nikki, and then
Okay.
Bob the drag queen. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're
Can you see me? Can you still see me?
yeah, I got you.
I was getting a call. So yeah, so Bambi, the Bambi girls. Oh man, I'm sorry. This just threw me right off.
It's okay.
Of these
Nikki and
phones.
Gabby
Yeah.
were in the
So
car
Nikki,
with you.
Gabby, yeah, Bob the drag queen, and Jeremy. So Jeremy started talking. He's like, "Hey guys, listen, I'm starting to get some bad vibes about Danielle." And Bob the drag queen was sitting in the front, and he just like froze. He buckled up, and I saw that from the back, and I'm looking, and as he's talking more about Danielle, he's like, "Oh yeah, you think so, Danielle?" And he was in himself. And at that point, I'm trying to go like this to Jeremy to stop talking about Danielle because I started picking up cues on Bob, and he
Yep.
didn't see me. And they didn't show that in the edit, so maybe the cameras didn't see that either. But then when me and Jeremy were talking inside the lunchroom, whatever that is, that room the dining room,
Yep.
he mentioned to Bob, he's like, Bob, I think you should go talk to people because they're throwing your name out there. And that's when he left. And I said, Jeremy, what are you doing, bro? That's when I tried to tell Jeremy, what are you doing? And they showed that part. And then I started
Yep.
talking to him. I said, listen, you can't trust that guy. So again, I didn't think he was a traitor, but I wanted to keep my eyes on him, but I didn't get a chance to watch it a little bit, to stay there a little longer.
Yeah. You got to watch it back. You lived it. You come home. You're like, all right, this is what happened. Now you get to watch it. Is it different than you remembered or pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same. I didn't know who the
Yeah.
heck the traders were. They were all saying that Tony's got to go because they were telling me like when I first went in there, Carolyn was sitting in the library with everybody around her, and she's telling them all about me. And Bob Harper said, "Tony, listen, we know how you are. And perception is everything." The housewife Dolores, she said, "Yeah, Tony, unfortunately, perception is everything, especially in a game like this." So I was doomed right from the start. So that's why I started making up homicide stories. I'm like, listen, I'm a homicide detective. I'm gonna help you guys crack the case. And I mean, I was lying about that, but I
Oh
did
my
really want to
God.
crack the case.
I can't imagine everyone in there watches Survivor though. Who was spreading your reputation around the most, do you think?
Well, you know what it is, Sharon. I believe that these people that are involved in the reality entertainment world, they read up on Reddit, they read up on rumors and gossip. So I'm sure they've heard because my name's all over that I'm a potential cast member in season Traitors 3. So I'm sure
Mm.
they looked it up and they're like, oh, let's see who Tony is because I'm sure they don't all watch that. How I can't see the housewives sitting down watching Survivor for 2 hours a night, you know? So yeah, so they probably did some research and they saw names popping out, thrown around, oh, let's see who might be going there. And I didn't do that. So I had no idea who anybody was.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. When you got there, did you get a warm welcome? Did you feel people were being cold, weird towards you? Like,
No,
what was
no,
the
it
first
was
few days
it was
like?
definitely warm. We
Okay.
were forming real bonds, But again, in the back of these people's minds, they were like, we can't trust this guy, so we're not
Mm,
gonna let him get too deep. And especially the Bambi girls, I had a real good bond with them, because we were riding the Land Rovers a lot together. So
mm.
we had a good bond, we had good talks, good conversations. But again, they couldn't trust me because of my reputation.
Yeah, we seen you got a little emotional. Was that real? Were you really upset? Like, talk to me about that
Oh
moment.
yeah, the emotions are always real. You can't make that up. So there was a lot of things going on. It's like, listen, man, I'm here as innocent as I am. It just sucks that you guys don't believe me as truthful as I've been to you guys. It hurts, it hurts. And then
Yeah.
when I was standing up there, you have a few moments to gather your, collect your thoughts, what you're gonna say. And then I was thinking of, like arguing with Rob and say, Rob, why you're supposed to be the strategic mastermind, and what you did there was nonsense. It was stupid. Like, but I didn't, so I just the quickest things that came out my mouth was, Rob, you're a sellout, because I
Mm,
really would have lost my game for him. And for him not to like even try to, as a number, you want your numbers. I'm your number. These people are not your number. These people don't know you. They don't care for you. I know you. I'm gonna work with you. I'm a number.
yep.
You got to
Yep.
fight for me like I would have fought for you.
Yep. I know we have to wrap up, Tony. The reunion. Who do you want to talk to the most, or who do you think you? I mean, the Rob thing's going to come up at the reunion, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, and like right now, outside the game, there's
You're
no
good.
beef whatsoever. Yeah, yeah. But in the game, yeah, I'm gonna point out a lot of things. Hey, Rob, come on, man. You're a smart dude. You're a strategic player. What was that? That was nonsense, man.
We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tony. It was so nice. You're one of my favorite players on Survivor, so I really
Ah,
love talking with you.
yeah. I got cracked this time.
It's all right. Well, I hope to see you again.
Thank you, Sharon, so much. Have a happy New Year.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you.